Good morning, everybody. My name is Cherisse, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about some tips and necessities for living out of your vehicle or just a small space. Well, I have lived in my 4Runner for about 4 years now. I have definitely learned a lot of tips along the way, and what I carry with me and how I organize and live in this space is very different from how it started off. I travel with a lot less clothes now and a lot of other cool things. So I'm gonna start off with like toilet necessities, because you don't just stop shitting and peeing when you move into your car. I actually just got this this year, and this is one of the best investments I've made. A little poop shovel. You can do a little trowel. They also have like camping shovels that fold up into smaller, and they usually have a little pig on the side. Those are also really fucking awesome, and they do save on space. I personally like my tiny shovel. It's a little bit easier to use and it gets the job done a little bit better. But any type of shovel will help. I always carry toilet paper with me, as well as I just recently started carrying baby wipes with me all the time. It's really nice to have baby wipes just to kind of clean up down there. Baby wipes are also really nice to have for cleaning your face or other body parts. This, my friends, is a pee jar. If you've lived in your vehicle, you probably have a pee jar. This is actually, I would recommend getting a pee jar bigger than this. This is about the size of my bladder, and when I have to take an emergency pee in the car, like you're in a city or something and there's no bathrooms that you can use, the pee jars, that's where they come in handy. I did have one instance where I used my little pee jar and I ended up spilling it all over myself and my blankets. So I would recommend doing something a little bigger, but yeah, pee jars are necessary. I also like to carry around like small little towels, like hand towels, just for cleaning my face in the morning with water. Honestly, washing your face off with a little water, even if you don't have a towel, just is a really nice start to the day. I have a little cover for my window. These ones are really nice because it helps insulate a little better. It keeps it a little cooler in the hot weather. You can also use a blanket. Sometimes people use curtains. I have a cooler for my food. It's in the RV I'm staying at right now, so I'm not gonna take that out, but I keep like my dried goods, my canned beans, my sauces, my spices in that. I also have another little cooler that I put my vegetables in. And a tip for keeping your veggies and your fruit lasting longer, put them into paper bags, especially if you don't have like ice. I don't carry ice with me. Put them into paper bags and it will help to reduce the mold and reduce moisture, so it will make your vegetables and fruit last longer, as well as keep your vegetables and fruit separate as much as you can, because when they are around each other, they will ripen faster. So if you want to make that stuff last longer, just keep the vegetables and fruit separate. I always carry 2 to 3 gallons of water with me. Stay hydrated out there, guys. Drink some water right now if you haven't. If you are drinking water, fuck yeah. It's like the regular gallon of water jugs that you buy in the store, but I refill those at water refill stations. Usually it's about 50 cents per gallon, which will reduce the cost as well as reduce waste if you refill those. I know they're not purposed to be refilled all the time, so they can kind of get a little rugged. So if you want to, you can buy actual reusable water jugs. I used to travel with a 5-gallon, and I don't do that anymore because of my space. Just it takes up a lot of space. You can buy little spouts at Walmart that you press the top and it has like a little nozzle on it, and so that's really nice for washing dishes and doing stuff like that. If you do have a bigger space, I super recommend that. I always have a first aid kit with me. I rarely use it, but it's just smart to have that. I also travel with a headlamp. My best friend actually gave me one, and this is like one of the best items to have living out of your vehicle. You don't want to always have to use the light inside your car because that can make your battery go dead faster. So a headlamp is nice. And talking about the battery, guys, jumper cables. Get jumper cables for sure. I've had to have my vehicle jumped so many times. They come in very handy. Now I also have this little handheld device. I will show you. So I have this little guy, which is actually, it's a little handheld jumper cables, and you plug this into this little box that can actually also charge phones. It doesn't charge them very much. It works best for just jumping your vehicle. I have a 4Runner, and it still works for how heavy duty my engine is. It jumps that easy, and you just plug this into a wall charger and plug that, or you can plug it into your car while you're driving to charge it. And this shit works immensely good. I got it as a Christmas present from my mom one year, and it has come in handy so many times, especially when I've been alone somewhere and can't ask somebody to help jump my car, or just don't really want to, because sometimes, you know, I just don't really want to talk to people all the time. A lot of people travel with like a chair or a mat to sit on. I don't have a chair. I would actually like to invest in a little fold-up chair, but I usually just use my yoga mat to sit on, or like a blanket. It's just nice, especially if you're cooking. Like, this is another necessity I consider. You can live out of your vehicle without a camping stove, but it does come in handy, especially if you're doing long-term living, just to kind of, it helps save money being able to cook food yourself and being able to get more nutrients in that way, unless you're like a raw vegan, upon which mad respects, especially if you are thriving and healthy off of that diet. That is really fucking cool. Then you don't need a stove unless, I don't know, you want to heat up some water or some shit. But camping stove, propane, they do have, this one's kind of a bigger Coleman grill. It works really well. It's literally one of the best things. I got it for like 30 bucks at Walmart, maybe 35 bucks at Walmart. Propane tanks are usually like $3 to $7, I think. I don't really remember, but you can buy tiny little camping stoves, ones that you can just put on top of a propane tank. They're a little bit less stable, but they work just as good. It's just one little burner. If you're trying to save space, super recommend that one. A towel, towel for showers. If you are wondering where you can shower if you're living out of your vehicle, if there is a Planet Fitness, I think is one of the better ones. It's a little bit cheaper. I think you can get a membership for like $10 a month. You can go in there as many times as you want. Any place that has a Planet Fitness, if you have a Planet Fitness membership, you can use their showers. And the really cool thing about that is if you are traveling with somebody else, you can bring a friend in. Every time that you go in, you can bring a friend in for free. So if you have a traveling buddy, both of you could use Planet Fitness showers for just one person's membership of $10 a month. So towels are a necessity. I don't really bring a towel when I go to the river. I just usually air dry, sun dry. I also have like little hand towels. I use smaller towels to dry off my dishes and other things like that. I usually have two towels, two bigger towels, one for Andy. Say hello to Andy in case you guys have never met him. This is Andy. Yeah, little bug. Little bug. Andy has loved his life so much more since I moved into my car. Just being with each other all the time. That's his living lush for sure. He is living his best life. Also, recycling your bags. So I keep my paper bags behind my seat. I also have like reusable bags that I do use plenty of times when I go into grocery stores, but I use these paper bags to separate my vegetables and fruit and to help the moisture. So I do occasionally grab the paper bags instead, just so I can reuse them for that purpose. And then I have all of these bags. I recycle literally all of my bags, from my tortilla bags to my bread bags, all the types of bags that I get. I reuse absolutely all of them. There is always a purpose for that. For instance, my tortilla bags, I usually use those ones because they're resealable. I use those ones for my toilet paper waste. As a girl, so this is another bathroom tip for women. As a girl, you know, I'm all about the pop a squat if you need to, wherever. Like, I'm not afraid of doing that. But at the same time, if you live out of your vehicle, like, you know, it gets a little bit more smelly down there if you're not wiping every time that you go to the bathroom. If you don't wipe every time that you go pee as a woman, like, it will make your clothes start to smell faster because it's kind of wicking the moisture from your urine. So I actually try to wipe every single time that I pop a squat in nature and go pee. And I dispose of my toilet paper waste in those tortilla bags, and I'll just keep one behind my seat in my car until it's full, and then I'll throw that away. So seriously, you can repurpose and reuse and recycle pretty much anything. Super highly recommend it. I'm all about low waste, no waste as much as possible. I actually used to, this is my food in my dishes compartment, like dried goods, and I used to travel with all of my like beans and my nuts and my seeds and all of that stuff in jars, like mason jars like this. It was very heavy, but then COVID happened, and that's actually the reason I stopped doing that. You know, you couldn't refill your jars anymore. So another tip, stay organized. Stay organized. Don't let the space become cluttered. Use bags, boxes, or drawers as much as you can. I know that I am a very, very organized nomad, very organized. Not all of my friends are as organized as me, but I do really recommend staying organized and uncluttered as much as possible. Clean up your messes more quickly. Just staying on top of it reduces stress, at least for me. I know some people are a little better with being in messes. I'm a little bit OCD about some things. So for this tip, we had to come inside the RV because that's where my clothes are. So for packing tip, roll your clothes instead of folding them, rolling them, and you put them in like this, straight up like that, so you can see everything. And rolling your clothes will reduce the amount of space that you're taking, so you can bring more clothes if you want to, because I love my clothes. I love my clothes, guys. By the way, this is my adorable outfit today. I love it. This skirt is actually the bottom of these hippie pants that I cut off because they were really torn up at the top. They were hand-me-down, and I just tore off the bottom of the hippie pants and I made a little skirt. It worked. Only keep what you absolutely love or need. I also recommend going through all of your belongings a few times a year, at least a few times a year. I go through my belongings, honestly, probably like once a week to twice a month, just because I am a little anal about it. But once a month, I think, is like kind of a prime amount to go through your belongings and just purge anything that you don't need or that you don't want. It just allows you to have more space. I am always getting stuff from free piles or hand-me-downs or taking in new things or going thrift shopping. So it's good to get rid of the old stuff that I'm not using, and just purge and reorganize as necessary. Honestly, that will help immensely, just going through your stuff and getting rid of things. I do not recommend just sitting in your vehicle all the fucking time. Definitely get out and stretch. Like, our bodies are not meant to just sit all the time, so I definitely do like hanging out with my 4Runner a lot. I like relaxing a lot, just chillaxing. But get outside, stretch, move your body. Move your body. It will help a lot with back pain, especially in the winter months. I know it can be a little harder to get out of your vehicle because of the rain or cold weather, but just do it. Just do it. For smells, I know when you live in a small space, it will start to accumulate smells from yourself. Wash your blankets every once in a while. I don't wash them super often. If you can't, like, I get it. I've gone through periods where I just could not afford a laundromat. It adds up, especially with like blankets. I sleep with a sleeping bag and some heavier blankets during the winter time, and if something happens, like I had a puppy and he would pee and poop all over my stuff, and I literally could not afford a laundromat because of how thick my bedding was. It would add up to, it was like $30 to $50 just to wash and dry my bedding. So I understand if you can't do that, but a tip for allowing things to smell a little better is use sage or essential oils or incense or Palo Santo. I know a lot of people like to use those little air filter thingies, the little smell good things that you put in the air conditioner vent. I don't really like those because I think it's like, I don't really support the plastic waste of it, and I don't really like chemically smells, so I encourage more natural things like sage or Palo Santo or incense, but you do you. That will help a lot with keeping your small space smelling good. Now, to talk about the issue of mold. Mold is a big issue for a lot of people who live out of their vehicle, especially the longer that you live out of it, you're more likely to deal with mold. I do deal with mold under here. It's like fabric there, and I think from my little roof rack, I believe that it's kind of created cracks in there, so some mold, some liquid does get in, especially during the rainy months, and there will start to be mold that forms underneath there. I actually would like to go in there and like do a real good clean through. During the summertime, I air out my vehicle as much as possible, but to deal with it from the inside, I have a white vinegar spray bottle, and I will spray that and scrub it and scrub it and scrub it until the mold is gone. It actually does help a lot. White vinegar is great at killing mold. I don't really have a lot of recommendations for bigger spaces or worse mold problems. If you are having a worse mold problem, I hope that you can figure that out, but I do recommend white vinegar, especially for surface mold problems or smaller stuff. Clean up your messes and liquid messes as soon as possible. I've had like whole gallons of water spill in the front seat on the floor, and that's all carpet, and just, you want to clean that out, air it out, dry it out as fast as possible before mold can grow. If you can keep your car vented at night, that will also help decrease the amount of mold, just because moisture condensation from your breathing and your body temperature, you'll get moisture on the windows and stuff, and so being able to vent your windows if possible at night will help a lot, as well as not having to deal with all of that condensation in the morning and having to wipe it off. During the winter months, I always have a towel to wipe off the condensation, and by the end of the wiping off all my windows, the towel is like soaked, absolutely soaked. Another little tip is to change your own oil. Change your own oil if you can. Do as much as you can on your own vehicle. Learn. YouTube has so much information. I keep in a toolbox, I have 2 toolboxes under here, as well as jacks and a little lift. So if you can work on your own vehicle, I do recommend that you do that. It helps a lot. I feel like it helps build your confidence as well. It definitely has given me a lot of confidence being able to work on my own vehicle and all of that stuff. But yeah, so I think that's actually all the tips that I had for today on living out of your vehicle. If you guys have any questions, just ask. Like, let me know if you have any questions about anything. My car is a little messy right now. I actually have to, these are my new rotors, and I need to do an oil change, so let's see if I motivate myself to do that today. I think I'm just gonna leave that in this video. I did recently just go on a week little vacay away from the area I've been living and working in. I went to the beach with my friend Snakebite for a week, and we lived out of his van while we were there, which was really nice, not having the responsibility of my own vehicle, but had a fucking blast. I didn't get that many videos, but I will post a short little thing. Maybe we'll see what I can compile from the small amount of videos that we got. But so yeah, guys, that is gonna be it today. Just another video with Cherisse out here being strange and cute. I hope that you guys enjoyed my video and that you watch more to come. Thank you so much.